Hello world and welcome to Elevated Intuition. Today we are doing a pick a card reading for the energy of your next week. This is a timeless reading, meaning that whenever you discover it, it has messages for you for the next 5 to 7 days. And a pick a card reading is where you get to use your intuition to pick the number, the card, or the object. I'll be placing objects here in a moment that resonates with you. And then I use my intuition to then read the cards for you. I have timestamps down below, so at any time when you decide to go to your reading, you can jump to that. It should be in the description box. And I think that's all we need to know at the moment. So let's take a look at the objects. So for group 1, the object I'm going to be placing on that is this cupcake. So group 1, you are the cupcakes. For group 2, the object I'm going to be placing on that is this lollipop. So you guys are the lollipops. And for group 3, the object I'm going to be placing on that is this ice cream cone, like maybe peppermint. It's not pumpkin spice, sorry. All right, so now, if you still are not sure which group is for you, I'm going to do a breathing exercise, so you're welcome to do that with me. Go ahead and close your eyes and take a deep breath in. And release any tension or anxiety. Just be in the moment, be right here. Think about what it is, what messages that you need to hear for your coming week. Now go ahead and open your eyes. And wherever your eyes are drawn, that is the pile for you. So thanks so much again for being here, and I will see you in the reading. Hello, group 1. If you picked the cupcake, you are in the right spot. And let's, we have sprinkles coming off the cupcake. Our first card for you is hope. Hope is always there, even if you can't see it. Optimistic expectations can help change a negative situation into a positive one. It kind of works in reverse too. It can change a positive situation into a negative one. The only thing that we really can control, because control is an illusion, is how we react to things. If we take up, part of the human experience is challenges that we meet and face every day. And if you look at those challenges as a way for you to grow, as a way for you to learn, as a way for you to, as an opportunity that really helps you. And I really feel like, yes, I get that that's very Pollyanna. It's a very optimistic way to look at things. Yes, but we're specifically have the card hope. So make sure that when you encounter things this month, or not this month, this week, we're just doing a week reading, that you're looking at it at hope. Look for that silver lining. Look for this rainbow that comes in. We've got this beautiful bird. The bird is hope. And remember the story in the Bible of Noah, when he built the ark, and they were at sea forever and ever and ever and ever. And they're like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? And remember that bird came back. What was it? Was it an olive branch? The bird came back with something to kind of like, hey, you know what? This bird found land. I can too. And I kind of feel like there's a saying called birds before land, that if you really want something, if you're seeing it, like you're seeing other people get it, that's a positive for you. That means that, it's available, that you could get it too. And a lot of people will look at that and go, oh my gosh, I can't believe my neighbor's got this new car, and you've been really wanting a new car for a while. Look at that and go, you know what? That's somebody in my neighborhood, somebody in the same circumstance as me, somebody who I can relate to, and they got a new car. I can probably get a new car too. So that's how you take that mind frame and flip it into hope. So let's get some cards out here. What else can we tell group 1 about this next week? Okay, we've got, that is the Knight of Wands reversed, The Star reversed, interesting. I kind of have a feeling about this. Let's see if it goes this way. 10 of Cups reversed. Whoa! And then we've got a bunch of cards. I'm just gonna take, just give me one card. Just give me one card. Okay. Yes, okay, I was gonna say, I kind of have a feeling about this. And my feeling was when we start getting a bunch of cards in reverse, I actually read them upright. Because I feel like when everything is in reverse, so I don't do a full reverse spread, but it does tell me something about your energy and that it is blocked and that it is your attitude that needs to change. When we got the Star in reverse, I'm like, the Star is about hope. Like this goes back to the hope card. That's what the Star means. And a lot of times when we're in a situation, like the Star comes right after the Tower. The Tower is like this kind of cataclysmic event that strips away all of these things. But what it reveals, what it leaves is things that are really actually important for us. I love that we've got the two Wands cards here flanking us. That Wands can be inspiration. Wands can be like, our desire coming in. And when you're looking at the situation in front of you and you're not 100% happy with it, our desire can be stunted. But look at this, we get another rainbow card. I'm just going to turn these around so we have a better visual of them. This is the 10 of Cups. It means that like happiness and fulfillment. It's funny. Well, I did see the rainbow here in hope because going back to the Bible story, Noah's Ark, the rainbow was a sign that the earth would never be destroyed in that way again. So it kind of feels like you going through this situation, it might be hurtful, it might be traumatic, it might be very difficult for you, but I feel like you're never going to go through it again. And either because you'll be able to come through it with, when you see it again, you'll be able to spot it and stop it, or, you'll be able to ride it through. You're not going to start from, you're going to start from experience if you ever have to go through this situation again. And I feel like, every tunnel has a light of hope. Every, rainbow, we have that pot of gold at the end. And I love these two cards. It's interesting that they're both on horses. This is actually a knight card. This is the 6 of Wands. The sixes come in tarot, like right after 5s. Obviously, we can count, right? But 5 is where you really encounter something difficult. It's where you encounter an obstacle. It's where you encounter a challenge. And the 6 is like, look, this is you taking your victory lap because you have overcome that. You have done really well. People are cheering you on as well. But what you need to see though is really internally like how you've gone through it and kind of pat yourself on the back as well. It's really important that you recognize how well you have managed this situation, how well you have navigated it, how well you've gone through it. Kind of some clues to get through it. First of all, we have the hope, like making sure that you are looking at things from another perspective. A lot of times it's really hard, the saying like, see the forest through the trees. Like if you were in the middle of the forest and you're just looking at a tree, you don't see everything else going around you. You don't see other paths. You don't see other opportunities. You don't see, you're, very focused on what is happening around you. And you might need to take a step back to really look at the situation and what are your opportunities here, because this is an opportunity for you to, really lead yourself out of it. This Star card and the Knight of Wands really give us an idea on the opportunity. And I feel like circumstances are going to change very, very quickly when you hold up hope and you get over this like mental obstacle that you're also putting on yourself. I mean, it's bad enough when life happens and there's a negative situation, but when you're only seeing negativity, when you're only, feeding that negativity, that's difficult as well. And I feel like that's why the cards came out in reverse at first, is because you need to, get your mind right, get your mindset right, really look at the situation, and with hope. And the Knight of Wands suggests two things. One, that things can change very, very quickly and you can move very quickly. So, think about that. Think about being nimble so that you can grab onto those opportunities and move when you need to move. And that two, you need to find your passion again. Passion and joy is really, because we've got cups here, and then we've also got the star card who's playing in the water. You gotta get your emotions in check here. Grounding is really important. She usually has 1 foot in the water, 1 foot on the ground, and that indicates, pulling your emotions back. I'm hearing putting your big girl panties on, or big boy, or putting your boots on, picking yourself up by those bootstraps, and like, you know what? I'm better than this. I'm better than this situation. I'm not going to let it harm me. And it's okay, absolutely, to feel what you're feeling and go through what you're feeling, but understand, because like that's part of the human experience, this ups and downs, this ebb and flow, and this whole like roller coaster ride that we're on. Like the great times wouldn't mean anything if we never had hard times. So, but it's not about having hard times. It's about having opportunities to shine, having opportunities to really ask ourselves what it is that we want, what it is that it looks like, fulfillment looks like to us, what it is that it looks like for our families. I dropped a card, picking it up right now. And what it is that we can create for our future, because this is just like a speed bump in the road of life for you. She who loved once, blue, fragile, secret love and rejection. So this might be coming after a breakup, considering that we have blue here. And again, I've said that it's not about letting that go. Obviously, we are human. We have emotions. Things are gonna hurt sometimes. But it is like, just kind of back to that birds before land. If you loved once, you will love again. You will. And it's okay to take a pause here and like sit in those emotions. Look at this. She who grants wishes. Alice, wish, desires, hope. Look at this. This is crazy. I cannot make this up. Hope. Just, there is hope here. So don't get too wrapped up in the negativity that you're seeing. Your heart's desire, it's all available to you. I love this too. She's got a magic wand here. She's wielding it. It's kind of like over her heart. I also love the patterns of the stars in what she's wearing. Very reminiscent of these stars here too. And I love when I do these 3 different, I just pick 3 different decks. I'm like, oh, these are the ones that are calling me. And all 3 of them conspire for you to give you this message of hope that your wishes can be granted. But let me talk about wishes being granted here and your desires. If you want your wishes granted, if you want your desires granted, those are the things you need to focus on. You can't focus on the past. You can't focus on negativity. You can't focus on a bad relationship, because that will then be what manifests in your life. So it may be a vision board, putting that up. If this was a breakup, what are the qualities in this person that you really did enjoy? Put that on there. That, I really liked this person because we played Dungeons and Dragons together. I really like this person because we read the same books together. And then you can start replacing those particular things, because like I said, if it was like something that you did together, hike or you played a game together or whatever that was, there's no reason that you can't meet up with other people or groups and do those same things. Go hiking, go take pictures, whatever that is that you would love. Now, and I'm sure there's some negative things too. You might want to put those out, like the cons. Like, I didn't like that this person never, was never let me do these things because they didn't enjoy it, they didn't love it. Maybe your ex-person was allergic to cats and you would really like a cat. Take a look at the like real opportunities that are presenting themselves. And of course, you're going to feel hurt or you're going to feel sad, and that's okay. But it's also okay to move past it. So that's what I have for you, Group 1. Thank you so much for being here. Love you so much. I will see you in the next reading. Hello, Group 2, and welcome to your reading for your next week. This is the Lollypop in Group 2, and the first card that comes out for you is Pure Intention. The Fairy of Manifestation will help you to use your wishes wisely, manifest your heart's desire with pure intentions, and for the highest good of all. So what's interesting about pure intentions when you're manifesting something, there's a lot of we'll say spells or talk about manifestation where they mention and harm none. You want to bring good fortune to yourself, but not harm other people. So that's what's interesting in here. But also with manifestation, it is really important to keep a positive attitude and look at things positively, because manifestation is a double-edged sword. We've got, when you focus on something, like I want to focus on bringing in more money, but a lot of times people are actually focusing on lack rather than the positive aspect of that. So that's what I mean by the two, because there's two stories, right? If you're focusing on wanting more money, are you feeling like you need more money because you don't have enough? And if you are actually focusing on that feeling of not having enough, then that is, a negative feeling, and that it will impact you negatively. So it's important to have that pure intention. It's important to feel like joy is really important, to follow your heart. And you're like, I just know it. I know I'm going to have enough money. I know I'm always going to have enough. I am enough. Look at this. 5 of Pentacles. It feels like within manifestation that you've been focusing on the negative here. And instead of it's really interesting with manifestation too, because you can't be too focused on the negativity, focused on the negative outcome of it. Or like a particular path, for instance. You can be like, I need more money, and just focusing on your job, and you're never going to get it from your job. Where if you open your, I love that we finished with this, where if you open your heart to the universe, and just I'm going to allow, I'm going to let everything come in here. I'm not going to worry about how it gets done. I'm just going to allow for it to get done, and boom, there it is. For in this instance, in the 5 of Pentacles, the 5 of Pentacles is an area of lack, especially or surrounded by money. Pentacles is around money. You can see these two people. It can also be around your physical body as well. And if you are so focused on one thing, maybe this, I'm going to get better, but I'm just going to do that, with this one doctor. If you open up your scope here, there's going to be surprises for you. For instance, I know somebody who's diabetic, or they were pre-diabetic, and the only option that was ever given to him were to take these pills. And he took them, and they were, he hated them. He hated the way they made him feel. He hated the way that, like, it really clouded his mind, and he's an engineer, and it was like a big deal for him. So instead of taking the pills, he lost 80 pounds. And he cut out sugar. He doesn't eat sugar at all. And he looked at the way that certain food, that his body processed certain foods. And it's not following, like, being open to other paths. And they will reveal themselves here with the Five of Pentacles, because these two people are in the cold. They look really sad. He doesn't even have a shoe, and he's barely walking here. They could stop right here and be warmed up. Okay, so these opportunities. We also have, this is the Lovers in reverse. I kind of feel like this is attached to the lack here, because, okay, Lovers is, you can see the depiction here of Adam and Eve on the Lovers card. Eve takes a bite of the apple. She gains some knowledge. She gets that consciousness. Like, all of a sudden they realize they're naked, where it wasn't even a thing before. All of a sudden they realize it's back in, the area of lack. All of a sudden they realize all of these negative things about them, rather than the positive things that were going on in the Garden of Eden. And they kind of get cast out. When it comes in reverse here, because I feel like too, there's a difference in our consciousness, because consciousness can be a very spiritual journey. But there's a difference between human beings and every other animal on the planet, and that is our consciousness. And I feel like that story is what's really important here, and it is actually a level up. But in the beginning, it kind of feels like, wow, this isn't that great. Kind of like when you when you gain your independence from your parents, and you have to start paying your own bills. Yeah, it's kind of not that great. But then, there are things that are positive about it, that you can go out and you can go wherever you want. There's nobody to tell you no. You can spend your money on whatever you want. There's nobody to tell you you can't. You can have Wi-Fi. You can watch whatever you want. Like, there's a lot of freedom that comes with it. But it's like initial shock of negativity too, that you might be feeling here with kind of the lack. And then we have the Ace of Cups in reverse. Kind of still going back here to this, just confirming that we've got like this a little bit of negative energy kind of floating around, and that you need to get back to your intentions, your pure intentions, put that wish forward, get that negative thinking under control, because you're not, this would indicate or would suggest that you're not serving what you really want. And you kind of need to define that. You kind of need to think about that. You kind of need to think about what is going to make you happy. Because if you don't know what's going to make you happy, nobody else is going to know what makes you happy. There's this thing within relationships. Like, if you're not a happy person out of a relationship, you're not going to be a happy person in a relationship. You have to work on you first. You have to work on your things, and because you're not ready to go down this path to happiness if you don't know what it is that makes you happy. And you kind of need to sit with that a while and think about that. And that's what's really important too with this pure intentions. It's what's really important in manifestation. It's really important in any goal that you set. If you don't know what your end goal is, you're just basically kind of going through the motions day to day, and you're not seeing the opportunities that are being presented for you. But finally we end on the 3 here. This is a major arcana card. This is the Empress. The Empress is all about abundance. The Empress is all about, like, there's a little bit of chaos coming in here. It's like tapering down until we get to the Empress here. It's where you figure things out. It's where you create what you want. You can see the Empress is she may not be pregnant, but sometimes she is depicted as pregnant. Sometimes, if that is a question on the table, if we get the Empress, then that is a confirmation of being pregnant. But it is bringing into the world your creations. So this is an opportunity for you to figure out what it is that is going to make you happy and bring those creations to life. Bring those into the world, like see those opportunities to go out and get that. The Empress is all about abundance. The Empress, like, usually she would be next to like the Ace of Cups upright, because she is radiating. She has so much abundance. She has so much love. She has so much wealth or food or whatever, that is, that everybody around her is touched by that positivity, is touched by that wealth, is touched by that abundance, is touched by that overflow. She fills her cup first too. This is a reminder for all of you parents or people in relationships. You might be very devoted to somebody else, and that is wonderful, but you have to be devoted to yourself first, and then they will get the overflow. You can't pour from an empty cup. You have to be fulfilled for yourself, and you will be the best version of yourself in that way. So I'm going to pull 2 more cards. Okay, we get She Who Sees, Makita, Observe, Perceive, and Scrutinize. Yes, and I love that over the 5 of Pentacles there, because they are not being observant in their, they're not observing their surroundings. They're very focused on one thing, and it's a negative thing. They're not seeing the positivity around them. It's really interesting too. A lot of these ladies are warriors. I feel like she's got this warrior headdress on her. You might want to set some boundaries around yourself. You might need to like pull back. Again, I kind of feel like the pouring from an empty cup is what's really important for you as well, that you need to make sure that you are fulfilling yourself, and then you can go and fulfill other people. It's kind of like on a plane where they tell you that you need to secure your oxygen mask first, and then you can go off and help other people. Can you imagine if you didn't do that? Like if you went to go help somebody else, and then you find yourself in trouble and you don't get them helped, and you didn't help yourself, and then like everybody is suffering. So it is looking at that situation, perceiving, it's almost like stopping here a little bit and then seeing everything that's around you. Let's see what this card is. She Who is Present. I love this. Taraz, now, awareness, and acceptance. So it's really interesting too, when you are focused on yourself, when you're pouring love into yourself, and then that allows you to radiate love out to other people. When you are in this present moment, how when you run into a negative situation, that it's just kind of like you just handle it. You're just able to handle it. You've got like this mental kind of like fortitude to handle it. I feel like she's very much related here to the Empress, who is just, is very much in the now, is very much, just like this really calm, collected, and what is the word? Confident energy. Confident because, look at yourself. You can handle these situations, and you're putting out that intention. You're leading with your heart, that heart chakra. Like I'm really feeling this as I'm talking like right now in my heart. What is your heart's desire? Feed yourself first. Feed your desire, feed your love, love yourself first, and then everything else is going to fall in line. So that's what I have for you, Group 2. I hope that you have a fantastic week. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you in the next reading. Hello, Group 3, and welcome to your reading for your next week. If you picked the ice cream cone, you are in the right spot. I'm just going to move it out of the way. But it's cute. I want to see it. And then the first card that comes out for you is Magical Gateway. It takes courage and trust to venture into the unknown, yet this is where the greatest rewards are. It's time to step boldly forward without looking back. So if you've been looking for a sign to move forward, if you've been looking for a sign to get out of your comfort zone, if you've been looking for this sign, like you have something in front of you, an opportunity, and you want to take it, but maybe nobody in your family has ever done this. Or maybe you've never had this experience before. Or maybe you feel like if you take this, like maybe you're moving to a different city or something like that, and you're not gonna have your safety net. You don't need it. This is you stepping forward. There's a saying about when you step like God steps with you. It kind of reminds me of the, if you've ever seen Indiana Jones and what's the one with his dad? The Last Crusade. In the end of that, there's like this temple and there's like these challenges that he has to meet. And there's like one doorway, and there's like this bridge, but it's like an invisible bridge. And he has to like step forward in faith that if he steps forward, he's not gonna fall. And he closes his eyes and he takes that big step, he takes that leap forward, and he steps and he doesn't fall. It just happened to be like camouflaged or something where he couldn't really see it or tell that it was there. And it is about that trusting yourself, trusting this opportunity. We have the Eight of Pentacles reversed. Ugh. Okay, I kind of have a feeling how this is going to go. Let's see. We've got the 10 of Wands reverse. We've got the 4 of Wands reverse. I feel like you have a lot of blocked energy around this. It almost feels like a job opportunity. And I think you're being modest with your skills and how skilled you are. There's 2 cards here. I think you're being modest with your skills and how like good you are. I think you almost have like imposter syndrome, and I think you're looking at the situation with worry. But I love that we have got the 9 of Swords here. 9 of Swords talks about that, like darkest before the dawn, kind of staying up at night with those like with worry. It's time to let that worry go. It's time to really, like, you're looking at all of these cups here that they're not fulfilling for you, and you need to see this in this 4 of Cups. Like, this beautiful opportunity is literally being handed to you, like out of thin air, and it's being created for you. And I feel like you are not trusting it. You're not quite, there's a little bit of blockage there. But that's what I said, like with this magical gateway, like this is your sign that you need to look up and take that cup. You need to let go of these worries. 4 of Wands in reverse. This situation feels like, again, that it is out of your comfort zone. 4s are numbers of stability, and when we have it in reverse, you're not quite sure about it, and it's right next to the 9 of Swords, so there's some worry about it. The 10 of Wands, though, like the positive to the situation feels like you're going to be letting go of a lot of burdens. Like maybe it is moving to, you just don't know how it's going to be when you get there, but it feels like there's going to be more money available to you. You just have to trust in your workmanship and you trust in your skill, because the 8 of Pentacles in reverse is all about that. It's all about you and your skills and your, I see so many people who are afraid to send their resume into a job because they're like, oh no, I don't have this, I'm not, it says 3 to 5 years experience and only have 2.5, or I kind of did that, but it wasn't exactly that, but it was at this different company, and they like never send those things, they never even apply for that job. And this is you need to like really take a look at your skills, really take a look at you as a person and your desires and go after them. Don't let this negative thinking, don't let this imposter syndrome like stand in your way. And there's some negative thinking here. There is like a lot of like there's been a lot of burden put on you. There's been a lot of where you are right now, and it probably it almost kind of feels too like maybe you want to do this for yourself, like you've built this business for somebody else, and you're looking at if you can build it for them, you can build it for yourself. And there might be some obstacles here as well, but it's time to take that leap of faith and really trust in yourself and trust in your ability. She who brings light, Blanche, light, serenity, and beacon. So this is really interesting. Very pretty card. Very, I think it's almost like an enlightening card. It's almost like an epiphany for you. Where we've got like this kind of like bright spot on you, this spotlight. There seems like there's a lot of chaos kind of going on in your mind. And it does take a bunch to, like calming that isn't easy, but think about calming that. Think about what it is that you need to do to have serenity. Think about what it is, I'm just getting this picture of like you sitting there and meditating with like your hand over your heart, and you thinking about how you radiate out your light and radiate out positivity. Sometimes I do this in the morning because I really just want to bring positive people to me. I really want to bring positive situations to me. I really want to think about things in a positive light. And I feel like that could be really helpful for you too, especially with, these feelings of instability. And then it kind of goes back and forth though, because we've got like this 4 in reverse here, and we've got a 4 up right here. So it is kind of a wash where, because I feel like where you are at, you're not really happy. I mean, we wouldn't really be looking for magical gateways if we were happy where we were. And it's just sit there, with your desires, with your light, and think about what it is that you need to do to kind of like radiate out that light. And then, shiny people. I had this conversation with a friend of mine before where, I don't know if you've ever, this is coming through, so it seems like it's important. If you ever like walked into a room, whether that be a grocery store or a party or, an event, or you just happen to be at a place, and have you ever looked around and then there's some people who just glow? First of all, I think you glow and you may not even know it, and I think you need that little bit of a level of confidence here, especially with this 8 of Pentacles reversed. I feel like you've had so many burdens put on you that you kind of have lost your glow, you've lost your luster a little bit, so we got to capture that back so that you have the confidence to go through this gateway. But there are other people who glow too, and just pay attention to it. Sometimes it's because we recognize somebody. Sometimes it's because they just look like they're like super happy. Sometimes, people just glow, and that might be your indication. Like I'm bringing this up because they might be who you need to talk to here. That might be that 4th cup coming in that glow. And then let's see what else. One more card here for you. She who waits. Interesting. Manara. Patience, waiting, determination. So I feel like this is something And I love that, look at this butterfly that she has in her hand. When we have this 10 of Wands in reverse, and when we have this 9 of Swords in reverse, I feel like you have been waiting for this for a while, because those two energies indicate that something has kind of been building, something has kind of been coming. Now, they don't have the best energies around them, those two cards, because it feels like you've just kept picking up burdens. It feels like you kept picking up like these kind of negative energies, this negative thoughts, surrounded by this, probably a job situation, surrounded by your job situation. But in reality, you kind of have just been waiting. So when you are presented with this magical gateway, and it seems like it's seemingly out of nowhere, and it seems like it's seemingly just like, poof, there it is. It really is something that you have been waiting for. I mean, I love the butterfly here because it almost feels like you have been in a chrysalis. And that, with the 10 of Wands reversed and the 9 of Swords here, what happens to a caterpillar? A caterpillar is nice and fat and happy. And the caterpillar goes along its merry way, just eating until one day it's time to change. And it I don't know how that chrysalis forms, but there's a chrysalis. It puts a chrysalis around itself, and it completely liquefies within this chrysalis and reconfigures itself into this butterfly. So it has gone through this period of waiting, and but look at how, I mean, we talked about being the light and being that shiny person, and then now the butterfly here in your hand, that it's back to like a diamond is formed by pressure. I feel like you've been on, these cards suggest you've been under a lot of pressure, and you need to see yourself how you are and how you've been formed and how you've been transformed, and it's time to take flight. So that's what I have for you, group 3. Follow that magical gateway, take flight. Let go of those negative thoughts, because you have been formed. You have been formed with adversity here, and it's time to move forward and find those beautiful gifts that are being handed to you. So love you, group 3. I hope that you have a great week. Thanks so much for being here, and I will see you in the next reading.